Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Grizzly Bear Sims YouTube channel, and welcome back to episode number 4 here on Ravenport. Thanks for coming back for another episode. We're going to bump our time up just a little bit. We're going to try to run at a bit of a faster clip. Now, I'm going to throw a caveat at that. Well, I'll go ahead and bump it up to 15x. I am still just a little concerned about just exactly when the weed infestation may or may not start. Now, I am running in normal crop speed growth mode, and this is the next game day from the game day in which I planted this what is this? This would be oats. So it's the next game day, so we're at 0% weed infestation and we're at 100% fertilized. So I had just asked a question a few minutes ago on our Discord server over on the Simulation Gaming Society Discord channel to verify if in fact 0% actually means that you don't need to do anything at all. That includes weeding or spraying, and that was accurate. So hopefully what I would like to see is I would like to see that come up and show a low percentage of weeds, because I would like to go ahead and run the weeder and experience that. I don't want it to go like full blown, but as long as it doesn't go full-blown weeds and full-blown growth, then at least we can at least spray it and experience that. So a little bit of a change from what I had initially talked about yesterday with regards to what this episode was going to kind of be about. I had mentioned that we would possibly rake and harvest or rake and bale this grass or this hay. I went ahead and decided to do that off camera just to kind of speed things along a little bit. And also I wanted to point out that it may not be such a good idea to mow, or at least my experience, at least on this field and where this farm is situated, it wasn't that great of an experience to mow the verge area, the area that we, technically isn't a dedicated field. I think it might have to do with maybe the elevation, the way that the ground is shaped and all this kind of stuff, because it became very, very difficult to try to tether that grass and also to rake that grass up. So again, maybe it just happens to be a little bit of a bug with this map, with this area. Maybe as additional maps come out, maybe that won't be an issue anymore, because it would have been nice to have been able to mow that. And some of that I was able to basically rake up and get baled up, but it just was a little bit difficult. But this here in the middle, where it was a proper field that I planted the grass, that worked out just fine, and I was able to get about, let me think, about 13 bales, I believe, about 13 bales of hay off of this field. So not too bad. We should be able to mow this again in the next game day or so, and of course we'll certainly do that. So hope everyone is having a really, really great day. Now we're gonna do, depending on what happens after we get this fertilized. I wanted to go ahead and fertilize this so it would bring our hay meadow here up to 100%, because hay, speaking of hay, but hay, you want to definitely stay on top of your fertilization as well as your weeding and everything. Now, of course, I did not see any weed infestation at all with the grass field, so I don't know if that is just a limitation with grass, that grass doesn't produce weeds, or if maybe it just wasn't the time or whatever. So we'll keep an eye on that and see. But I think that what I'd like to do is go down and also do a contract mission, just simply because I haven't really had the opportunity to do many of those. I did do a contract mission last night off camera just to experience it and make sure that I sort of understood how it all would work and all that kind of stuff before I made a fool of myself doing it on camera on a video. Our animals are doing fine. They've got plenty of food, they've got plenty of water, and we'll just go to the animal menu so that you can see this. They've already increased in value to almost $8,000 a piece. So of course that was when our employee came in and rode those horses and took care of their exercise and all that kind of stuff. So just keep in mind that that's obviously something that you've got to do, and that will keep them their profitability and everything up. So we are going to empty out our sprayer. I've just kind of gotten in the habit of doing that. Of course, it places the thing over there, unfortunately, and we'll unload it here. So wish you could indicate maybe which side it was going to place it on, or maybe I just need to get in the habit of remembering which side it's going to go on. So we're gonna ease over here, and we're just going to go and have a look-see with this field just to make sure that our weeds are okay. So we're at 0% weed, and it's still growing. And come on up here, and we're at 0% weed. And we'll pop over here and just check this just for grins and giggles. Okay, 0% weed. So I'm still going to run at 15x speed and just kind of see how things go. And hopefully I won't be making a fool out of myself. So we're going to go and do a mission, and we're going to do, I'll tell you what one of my limitations are with regards to the missions or the contracts or whatever we want to call them in Farm Sim 19. I guess we need to call them by what they actually are, and that is contracts. The contract that I did last night, and let's see, which one of our tractors do we want to take? Let's take our big boy here, the 8R. The contract that I did last night, I rented the equipment from the store because it was a cultivating mission, and even though we have a cultivator, it was a fairly large field, and I wanted to use the cultivator that the mission was recommending, because why not? When you can go large, why not go ahead and do that? But, I was looking at some of these other missions, and I would absolutely love to be able to do some of these harvesting missions and such. There's one here that I was looking at. Maybe, no, it's not that one. That's interesting. We've got some more harvesting stuff. Let's see, where's that cultivating mission that I was going to do? This guy here, field number 23. So we're going to go ahead and accept this, and we're going to try to use our equipment and see if we can maximize our money. Now, the thing that I wanted to point out with the contracts is that I would love to do some of those larger contracts that involve multiple pieces of equipment and everything, but unfortunately most of those are to fields that are either on the other side of the map or just a little bit of a haul to get there. And I don't have an issue with that necessarily, but I am hoping that maybe one of these days Follow Me will make its way, the Follow Me mod will make its way to Farm Sim 19, because I would love to be able to just follow me the convoy of equipment and get it over there to whatever field that we need to work on, versus kind of going back and forth and everything. Now, that's not to say that that's going to stop me from doing missions, because I most likely will, or contracts I should say. I'm probably going to call them missions, and just understand that it's kind of interchangeable, and maybe you're doing the same thing because you're just kind of stuck on the old way of doing things for a little while. But anyway, I would hopefully that Follow Me or something similar will come out, and where we can convoy some of that equipment over kind of at one go and do that, because that would be really neat to be able to do. But hey, we just have to wait, and we have to be patient. Now, something that I wanted to discuss, especially after I baled the hay in the field last night, is it really appears now. Of course, I'm going to say that this map isn't quite, well, this hill is quite hilly. I was going to say this map may not be as hilly as some of the Farm Sim 17 maps that we've had in the past, where, like, Coldborough Park Farm comes to mind, where Bullet Bill worked very hard and did a very smart thing in making the fence rows only a collision to hay bales or straw bales. You could still drive through them because that's what the majority of the people, I suppose, wanted, but he was able to set it up where it would be a collision for hay or straw bales. But I didn't notice the bales rolling as much as they have done in the past with Farm Sim 17 and with Farm Sim 15. Now, I don't know if, again, I don't know, it could just be that I've not been bailing on a hill that has a significant incline enough to really test it and see, so I don't want to get everyone's hopes up that you know, the bales have a little bit better physics to them so that when they come off the round baler, they will kind of set flat because let's face it, these types of bells, these 4,000 liter bells that we're using here in Farm Sim 15, 17, 19, they've got some weight to them. That's a pretty heavy bell. I don't know how much they weigh, but I can tell you that just from the sheer size of the bell itself, there's quite a bit of weight to it. And I would assume that when it comes out of the baler, yes, they can roll, because I've actually seen them in Farm Sim or in farm videos, real life farm videos roll. But I still think that there's enough weight where it sort of will flatten the bottom just a little bit, and unless you're, you know, baling on the side of Pikes Peak or something, you really wouldn't expect them to roll that much. Certainly not roll as much as we encounter them rolling in Farm Sim. So hopefully Giants has done something about that, and maybe they have made that where there's a little bit more ground physics, and the bell and the ground is able to mate with each other and basically keep that from happening. So you know, not all doom and gloom. Now, I did, when I was at work today, and by the way, today is Thursday, the 29th of November, and I'm essentially recording this episode to be released on Monday of next week. There was a update. I think Farmer Klein posted it, and a few others were talking about it, about the patch, and I think I mentioned it maybe in yesterday's video, which you would have watched on Friday. I talked about that I think it was in beta initially. Well, it certainly went from beta to actually production fairly quick, and they pushed it out. It's update 1.1.3. And unfortunately, it does not fix the tension issue on the G27, so we are still having to start ATS before Farm Sim 19 just to release that tension, because it just will not release otherwise, regardless of what you do with the Logitech profiler. And of course, that's always been the trick. Quite honestly, I have always had to ensure that I launch the game with the Logitech profiler, and then manually go in, and I've demonstrated this a few times on my videos with Farm Sim 15 and 17 about how I was able to release the tension, but that trick does not work with 19 at the moment, and I'm not the only one that has the issue. So we continue to wait. But yeah, you know, I think there's still enough good things about 19 that far outweigh some of the bad things, and we just need to be patient and just enjoy what we have. And you know, you know the saying, good things come to those who wait, right? I'm sure that's what you probably tell your children and your grandchildren and everything, especially around this time of year with Christmas and seeing the presents under the tree and all that kind of stuff. They just have to wait. Good things come to those who wait. So I may, you know, do larger contract work, and may even sort of bite the bullet and do some of this. I don't know. I may do another one here in just a few moments. We'll see. Might have to get Billy Bob involved if it's something like a job where we need to cultivate, or not cultivate, but harvest and hull. But we'll see. I don't know. But anyway, we'll spend some time. Obviously, $400 is not very much money in the grand scheme of things, but it's $400 that we have that we didn't have before, and quite honestly, it probably paid for the contract total. Missing crops, lease cost. We're not supposed to plant anything, were we? Completed. Okay, completed. There we go. All right, so we made our $400. All right, I was beginning to be a bit concerned there that we were also supposed to plant something at the time that we cultivated, but I'm guessing that it's just going to take me a little while. And remember, folks, this is, I'm a week behind everyone else, and with having to work and everything kind of at the same time as, trying to learn about some of the changes and everything, I'm just a little bit behind, maybe just a little bit behind the 8-ball here. Wow. Okay, so that has gone harvest again, just lickety-split like that, and we have weeds and it's ready to harvest. So what am I to do, folks? What am I to do? Let me look at I'm guessing that normal is just too fast at running at 15x speed, so we don't want to turn it off for sure. So I guess we're just going to have to go at slow plant growth, because it just, as you all saw, within the span of running it at 15x speed, within the span of a couple of hours, I think we were at around 7 o'clock in the morning, so like 3 hours of simulated game time. It just goes all of a sudden from 0% weeds, let's see what the weed infestation was, 0% weeds to 100% weed infestation and ready to harvest just like that. So I don't know, is that a bug? Is that something else that you guys are seeing? And again, I'm going to say what I said in the previous episode, and that is I haven't played Farm Sim without seasons since for almost 2 years. I mean, I started playing with the seasons mod for Farm Sim 17 around the January timeframe of 2017. So I think I'm just, I'm sort of maybe dumbfounded and just don't understand what's going on. So really, really weird situation, I suppose. Anyway, let's just go ahead and drop our cultivator there. Again, at least we made a little bit of money on that contract job, but maybe we need to just go ahead and move right into the harvest and start harvesting in the last remaining few minutes that we have. We haven't really done a harvest on this video, on this series. I don't think I've done one on camera. So good thing that we have Billy Bob hanging around, because we'll get him driving the combine here shortly. Let's go ahead and lift the header up so I don't know, that's a little disappointing. I mean, while I realize that it's constantly spring, summer, fall, constantly with the way that default Farm Sim works, I was just a little disappointed that we got the weed infestation so quick, because I can tell you what's going to happen. We're only going to have about I think we're going to end up with about maybe 5,000, 6,000 liters of oats, if that, because of the weed infestation. So crazy stuff. I guess we'll just have to try it again, and we'll just try that at slow growth and see if that works better. And I tell you what, I'm not going to need swath, so we're going to go ahead and turn the swath off, because I've got plenty of straw bales right now. And while I could sell those, while that is true, I could sell the straw bales. I just kind of want to try to figure out this growth thing, because again, I think you all saw it on camera that we were setting at 0% weed infestation, and then when we got back from doing that mission, we had 100% weed infestation and 100% crop growth. So, oh well, we'll give it a go again and plant this around and see how it goes. I mean, we obviously need the wheat, or not the wheat, but we need the oats, definitely, because our horses are hungry, and we've got plenty of oats in the trough, but we don't have any in our silo. So this is just going to give us some insurance, I suppose. But anyway, I'm a little bummed about that, you know. And I'm sure it's just me. It's probably not the game at all. I probably should not have. I probably should not have said that it was, or suspected that it was a bug in the game or whatever. But who knows? I mean, there's obviously other problems that we know is in the game, and I know that, you know, when it happened the first time and everything that I explained to you in episode number 3, that was kind of my own fault because it clearly was my sort of my own negligence by leaving it in fast mode, because I didn't check that. I would assume that it would have been in normal, but that's what you get when you assume, right? You know what that means, and I'm not going to spell it out because we run a G-rated channel. But yeah, that was my own fault. But this one, I was expecting it to do a little bit different. But we'll just endeavor to try to live and learn. I told you in the previous episode about the Seasons mod and about the encrypted hint that they left on Twitter, and that basically what that meant was the Seasons mod was being worked on for Farm Sim 19, and it would be released for Farm Sim 19 when it was ready, and that at this particular point in time, they're not even at the beta stage yet. So no one is testing it. No one is well, I mean, I'm sure they're testing it internally, but no one is testing it from a beta perspective, so they don't have it out sort of in mass yet. So I would think, now keep in mind, let's see if we can kind of remember together about how long it was in, the Seasons mod for Farm Sim 17 was in sort of beta, in preview kind of mode. That was about probably 6 or 7 months. I know that it was in sort of the limited preview or beta type format until the mod contest. And the mod contest, I believe, happened in like June or July of 2017. So it was released in January, I think. Farm Sim 17 came out in October, so it was kind of in beta or whatever. It came out in January, and then it didn't go full-blown. The production version didn't come out until, I think, June or July, basically, in coordination with the mod contest. So hopefully we're not going to have to wait until June or July for it. Hopefully they're not going to hold it back from being released into general availability until then. Hopefully they're going to release it whenever they feel that it's ready. And I would hope that there wouldn't be a whole lot of extra work that would have to be done, just whatever minor sort of changes are the difference between 17 and 19. So I guess long story short, what I'm trying to say here is don't be surprised if it is not, if we don't really hear anything about it until after the first of the year, because I would sort of surmise that by Giants essentially saying we're working on it, it'll be ready when it's ready, is sort of their way of saying, okay, I know that people are asking about it. We're going to answer the question that yes, we're working on it, but we're not going to provide you any sort of timeline because we don't have one, or we're just going to keep that somewhat tight-lipped. That's the way a lot of modders work and other developers as far as that goes. There is an add-on developer in the flight sim world called PMDG. If you are a flight simmer, then I'm sure you're familiar with their aircraft, and they operate under the same guidelines. They will tell you that we're working on something. We're working on a 747 or a 737 or whatever, the 777, but they will not tell you when it will be available. And you may not even immediately know that they're working on it for some time, but eventually the news will come out. They'll say, we're working on 747-800 as an example. That was the most recent thing that PMDG released for Flight Sim, and they'll tell you that, but they will not tell you when it's going to be released. And then once it starts getting in the hands of the beta testers, you might start hearing a little bit about that. But again, they'll say we don't know when it'll go general availability, and then generally maybe a few days before it's about to go GA, you'll find out about it, and you'll be able to buy it and fly it and do all that kind of stuff. So some people hate that. Some people hate that that way of developers doing business. But you know something, I certainly understand why they do that, because yeah, you know, I mean, you've got people constantly asking about when is it going to be ready for this, or when's it going to be ready for that, or whatever. And you know, just be patient. Just be patient. I think patience is clearly the name of the game with these things, and we just here in the farm sim world, we're just going to have to take that advice and do that as well. So as you can see, we're at about 6,400 liters of oats. Now I calculated that out when I said about 7,000 liters. That was right, but I forgot that before I planted 2 fields of oats and a field of wheat. And so I think that by the time we harvest that 3rd field just behind us, I think we will be closing in on 8,000 to 9,000 liters of oats, and that'll just have to get us by until we can recycle these fields again. And of course, when we're playing without the seasons mod, as I said before, it is kind of, you know, spring, summer, fall, all encapsulated inside of a, you know, 1 to 2 to 3 game day period. I'm hoping that slow is more like 3 game days. Fast is pretty much 1 game day from what I experienced in the first mistake that I made. Obviously running at normal seemed to be about 2 game days, because I planted all this on game day number 3, I think it was, and then I think game day number 2, and I think now we're actually in game day number 3, I think. I don't know, maybe I'm confusing myself, but anyway, well, ladies and gentlemen, we're coming up on 27 minutes. I've already taken my screenshot for my thumbnail. I will probably off camera go ahead, because I think we've kind of seeded and done that whole drill. So I think I will do that off camera, and then we'll come back with another episode on Wednesday, and we'll see what these crops are going to do. And my apologies that I just don't know more about this, but I have been spoiled to the seasons mod, and I absolutely love it, and I kind of wish it was available now, but like I said before, it's not, and we'll just wait. So until then, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching. I appreciate you tuning into my channel and watching my videos, and I hope very much that you're enjoying your time on Farm Sim 19 just as much as I am, even though it's a little bit confusing to me at the moment, and we'll all figure this stuff out together. So thank you again for checking in, and take good care of yourself and also of each other. God bless you all. Bye-bye.